Welcome back. This is Everything About Nothing with your host, Tobenna KK. I know it's been a while since we last talked. Like, I want to say a while. Man, almost 2 years to be exact. And actually, I apologize for being gone for so long, but there had to be a little bit of me time. And it's important to have that me time because you can't pour into an empty cup. And if you don't have enough strength to do so, it's okay to walk away. And it really kind of just ties into the segment that I'm kind of starting off with because this is not your same old everything about nothing. This is the return of nothing. So it's going to be a weekly podcast. We're going to have guests from all different type of genres, from self-help to cooking to athletes, just kind of talking about that mental aptitude of what essentially everything about nothing means. Because I think in this day of 2026, life is not easy. And as I've got older, I've got more wiser. I've understood that there's going to be days where you have 100%, but there's going to be many days that you don't. How are you going to be able to manage those days that you don't? So I really wanted to bring the podcast back, not to be another person trying to create content because I don't really care for that. I'm not trying to essentially give you something to doom scroll on or to listen to make you escape. What I want to do is encourage the listeners kind of in their journey of life, in their walks in life, to understand that you're not alone, to understand that it's going to be so much more that you're going to experience. There's going to be so much things that you're going to have to undergo. And that's just life, unfortunately. We live in a day and age with information overload. We're seeing too many things, too many talking heads. And the last thing I want to be is another talking head adding to a just already monstrous and essentially unperformative dialogue that's constantly going on. There's relationship things, there's health things. People are in this day and space where they're just trying to breathe. So the Everything About Nothing, Return of Nothing podcast. Man, let's just scratch that. Just give me Return of Nothing. That sounds cooler to me. Well, the Return of Nothing podcast is just going to be open dialogue, giving you just some energy and time to just take a break, take a breath, listen, and hopefully just breathe some words of life into you. So let's go. So kind of going into this first segment, we're going to be just talking about mental health. I understand mental health is at an all-time rise these days, especially for my fellas. This episode is for you. I have one question to ask. Are you okay? I wanted to take a break and a pause in that moment because I'm not going to lie, it's not easy. That 2-year hiatus I took, there was a lot of ups and downs that kind of messed me up. And there's moments where I felt the lowest of lows, where the nights felt so long and the days felt so short. For my fellas, you know what we're talking about. For the guys that are just trying their best, don't know where or what to do, the societal pressures of you to provide, to protect, and do every other thing but to really act on your best benefit sometimes. So this episode and this first season is going to be really towards mental health, kind of giving you tools, strengths, just some real life applications to help you overcome what you're going through on a day-to-day. Those silent killers that we as men have been told to just suck it up, be a man, you'll be okay. Those are the times where I think men need each other the most, and sometimes those are our deepest cries that we never are heard. A lot of times as men, we compartmentalize our pain. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to be a burden to somebody else. So what do? We just go to work. We dive our head into our work, into the gym, into our goals, our dreams, the grind. There's this essentially this trend, and I think it has, in good faith, a good point about it, that locking in. But for a lot of people, there's an extreme of what they go into, that social isolation that essentially puts them in this box where it's, oh, I got to lock in on my goal. See you in 3 months. Don't talk to anybody. Put your head down. Like I said, while it does have a positive message, the delivery is pretty bad. Because to me, it's kind of telling you to disregard everything else and just focus on you. And there's in moments you do need to focus on you. But there's a lot of life that has to be lived as well. And I think being able to balance and manage our business, because our life is our business. How are we managing our life? If we're putting all our eggs in one basket and not attending to the other areas of life, there's going to be a lot of discomfort. There's going to be a lot of agony, and it's a lot of places. And for us men, and some people who are fathers, some people who are just brothers, some people are just, we're all sons of somebody. And sometimes we just don't feel like we've done enough. I want to tell you, you are enough. Right now, you're on a journey. You're the head of the house. You are the head of yourself. But don't forget to take some time to pour into your cup as well. Kind of just jumping right into kind of what male loneliness, that there's a male loneliness epidemic and the depression and anxiety and mental health for men. Because for a lot of men, they don't have a lot of things to kind of put their attention to that's not work. And as much as I love work and grinding, but there needs to be a point of life where it's not just, hey, I need to beat my mental aspect in, because you'll get tired, you'll get burnt out. What are you using to kind of use your other parts of your brain that you can use, right? Because there was an analogy that I seen a long time ago. It says that as every person, not just men, but men specifically, you need 3 hobbies. One that makes you money, which is your job, your side hustle, whatever the case is, one that keeps you in shape, and then one that allows you to be creative. And that last one, I think, is what a lot of men struggle with, is that creativity aspect. And I'm not talking that you have to go draw and be Picasso. I'm talking about, what do you find, what inner are you channeling that allows you to use that inner creativity? You know, and I've learned from over my years, I used to love music, whether it's playing, whether it's listening, whether it's just trying to practice an instrument, whether it's drawing, like something that channels that creative outreach in you. For a lot of us, we don't. We just come home, we lay on the couch, long day work, and rot to the next day. And you wonder why you feel like shit. You wonder why you don't feel good, you don't feel motivated, you don't feel encouraged to go out there and kill your goals, because you have all this energy that's just bottled up and compartmentalized. And it's trying to find a way out so we can give you those endorphins and dopamine rush that you need. Because don't get me wrong, depending on your work schedule, the days are long. Work can, you look up and it's like, man, I gotta go back to work the next day. I feel like I haven't accomplished anything. I feel like I haven't done anything with my week. That sounds familiar, right? We've heard that. Wow, I feel like the week just flew by and I didn't do anything but work. Then you blink, you look up, 10 years have passed, 20 years have passed, and nothing got accomplished. You feel unfulfilled. And I'm not talking about the financial aspect, because you can have a lot of money and still feel unfulfilled. Money does not equate to happiness. Money doesn't equate to joy. Money does not equate to fulfillment. And for a lot of us, we spend our money on temporary highs anyways. Cars, girls, alcohol, drugs, trying to scratch that itch that we know it's only gonna come back and it's insatiable. And for a lot of my fellas, I just wanna give you some tips or just some things that will help you out of your rut, or kind of give you some peace and fulfillment through to having a fulfilled end of the day. First and foremost, I would say work out, move your body. I'm not saying that you got to go into the gym and be a gym bro and train and lift 315. If you can, that's great. But if not, find somewhere where you're able to strain and use your body, move your body for at least 30 to an hour a day. You tell me that you can spend an hour a day on your body that literally gives you life. No wonder 20 years from now you're having, body aches and you can't get out of bed. You got a huge gut. You feel foggy in the head. Your gut is making you having all these sicknesses and diseases. Man, I promise you, move your body. We have to get back to that. And I'm glad to see the resurgence of run clubs. People love golfing. People are looking for ways to be outside. I saw this meme on Instagram, because back in the day, in the early 2000s, we used to use internet and media to escape from real life. But now in 2026, we're trying to find ways to get out the house so we can escape from the internet and media. I love hearing that. So finding a way to keep your body active, whether it's joining a martial arts group. I know jiu-jitsu is huge these days, or golfing, finding a way just to be outside, touch grass. I think that's what the kids are saying, touch grass. Go be in a social setting, but don't just sit around and come home from work. I know you might be tired from a day's work, but I promise you that hour that you put in, even when you don't want to, you always feel better afterwards. You always feel better afterwards. That's almost 100% guarantee, unless you hurt yourself. But for the most part, if you're going in and you're moving your body, you broke a sweat, the joy and the piece of you've done something else than this work is invigorating. The dopamine rush of like, I accomplished something that was for me, because working on your body is for you. Working on your health is for you. Working at your job is for your employer. Even if you are the boss and you're an entrepreneur, but you're working for your customers, you have to always delegate out. But when you're working on yourself, hitting the weights, running, cardio, swimming, hooping, golf, you're working on you. And that's important. This one is honestly something I think that might be number 1. I should have put that first, honestly, but I think having a spiritual life or some type of meditation that allows you to take care of just not just your mindset, but your heart set. Because I feel like for a lot of people, our mindset is something that they talk about having a Mamba mentality, which is important, being able to overcome obstacles. But where's your heart? What's your heart set looking like? Because there's moments when your mindset is sharp, but you still can't get out that rut. You just feel down for some reason. Where's your heart set at? You got the big promotion at work. You got the new car. You drove it off the lot after 10 minutes of pure bliss and joy. It's like, okay, you kind of go back to that. Wow, that's it. And for a lot of us, we walk around every day, like so we quote all these cool motivational quotes. We're killing it, but for some reason, we just don't feel good. I'm telling you, your body's craving something more. Your body's craving something deeper. And for I don't know if you're Christian or not listening to this, but as somebody who follows Christ and I think he's been a huge proponent of my life. I'm gonna say this was the biggest difference for me as I've gotten older, especially as a man. I think for men we have this ego complex that doesn't allow us to bend to authority sometimes. And I'm telling you, the strongest thing a man can do is to get on his knees and to be in awe of who he is. And he is Jesus Christ. So I would really, really beg that you try to find something that allows you to find to a deeper purpose for yourself, a deeper calling for yourself. Finding time to slow down your day after a long day where you're talking to everybody, where you're taking orders or demands or whatever. Then you go to the gym and then you cling and bang. Take some time to breathe. Take some time to focus on yourself, to do things for you. It allows you to channel that inner being that that needs to be culminated because you're not just a body, you're not just skin. There's a soul, there's a heart that's craving a deep intimacy that isn't just from another human or a dog or something. It's from a higher power. So I would really recommend you finding some time, whether it's through prayer, meditating, journaling, reading your word, like, listen to a good sermon. I don't know what that is. Going for a walk. What is that for you? You tell me. What allows you to slow your brain down? And in the midst of chaos, in the midst of storms, in the midst of just turbulence and trials, what is allowing you to come back to homeostasis and be like, hey, I'll be okay. I don't know why I'll be okay, but that peace, I'm telling you, if you're a Christian, that peace in Christ is so important because he is somebody that gets comfort to those who are weary, the joy that you're looking for, the joy that you're trying to find, that childlike joy is found in him. And I would recommend you go find him. Asking you shall receive, seeking you shall find, knocking the door shall be opened up to you. I would really recommend that. It's a game changer. Next is just finding community. I think that like you said, it goes back to the lock yourself away, grind to you're making $1 million or 10K, whatever the case is, the new trend these days. Community is something that I don't care what you're doing, you need people. You need people around you. They said if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. If you're my anime lovers out there, every anime protagonist, even the antagonist, had a group, and that's what made some of the best animes you've ever seen. Naruto, Goku, like Demon Slayer, like all these shows, Rurouni Kenshin, Yu Yu Hakusho, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! Like everybody had a group because they understood what it took, what having people around you and having people on the same focus and the same goals around you does to you. Even Jesus Christ moved around with people. The savior of the world had 12 people that he moved with. He loved them and he taught them. They learned from him. He made them better. One person made them better. And those people went and spread and did some amazing things and died for the faith. But it just shows how much we need people. And in the day and age where we get this fake socialness by going on social media, it's doom scrolling. Think after a while, you're just like, man, I did nothing. You haven't talked to a single soul that day. And I find myself as somebody who craves fellowship with people. I find myself after a long day just wanting to isolate because I'm tired. I'm not saying that you have to talk to everybody every day, but spend some time talking to somebody. I think there's a fact that says 22 minutes with a good friend, a conversation with a good friend is therapeutic. The endorphins that you get from talking to somebody and laughing, haha, and kikiing is second to none. God knew we needed each other. He understood that. He said, man should not be alone. And that's not talking about the relationship aspect. That's talking about is in any kind of relationship, fellowship, anything. So find your tribe, find your people, find your community. And if you don't have that community, I know it's hard, go make one. Be the person that extends your hand like, hey, let's grab lunch. Hey, let's get together for a weekly Bible study. Hey, let's go play pickleball. Pickleball is the craze these days. Join a group. Join a Facebook group. Find what do you enjoy doing that does not revolve around money. And if it is around money, find people who are money motivated, that want to grow businesses, that want to create and destroy and go destroy your goals. Like, find those people. But as we talk about people who can help you and grow you, there's also people who can tear you down. So you have to have discernment when choosing friends and relationships, because the same people who will bring you up are the same people who can tear you down and put you in a very miserable spot. And when sometimes you outgrow friends, the worst place you can be is still there and still feel alone while you're around other people, because that's not for you anymore. And that's okay. Find people who bring the best out of you, who motivate you, who encourage you, who support you in this journey that you can lean on when you're going through hard times. Find those people. I promise you, it's going to make a huge difference in your days. Those are the people that are going to talk great about you when you're in rooms that you're not even in. We need to get back to that. We need to get back to the social aspect of what makes life beautiful, because we need each other. Men especially, we need each other. We do not do a good job of making friends after a certain age, and I don't know why. It's hard just to be a guy and be like, hey man, I just want some guys just to shoot the shit with, talk, hang out, maybe sit around the bonfire. I don't know what it is what you guys like to do, but find people who enjoy doing the same thing and spend time with them. 22 minutes of good conversation with a friend can change your life and save your life. Check in on your friends who are struggling, especially your strong friends. Those are the ones that usually never check in on anybody. They never ask for anything because they feel like they don't want to be a burden. I'm here to tell you, man, we're not a burden. You're not a burden to your friends. Make sure that they're good. Check in on them. Ask them questions. Ask them the hard questions. Nah, how are you really? Nah, I'm good, man. But and for men, when your friends ask you these questions, if they're your good friend, be vulnerable. Allow them to have real conversation with you that is not superficial, surface level. Haha, like you want where it's like, man, I can really be honest, brother to brother. How can I be there for you? How can I support you on this journey of life, man? How can I encourage you? How can I keep you accountable? Are you struggling with addiction or struggling with your mental health? Man, and you can't overcome it. The worst you can do is just try to do it by yourself. I promise you, don't do it by yourself. Find somebody, find friends, find community, find anything and do it with them. So facts that astounded me when I found out. I think that they said women account for more suicide attempts, but men account for more suicide go-throughs. Like they finished a job, and it's around 80%. But men finish the job. They get to the point where enough is enough and I can't do it anymore. And it breaks my heart to think about that. People who don't have community, who don't have people that they can lean on to be like, man, I need help. Please, I don't want to feel weak. I don't feel like I can't control that. I don't feel like I'm not in control of my life, but I need help. And that's okay. Another crazy stat, they said men 75 or older have the highest rates of suicide. And the second highest rates are between the ages of 25 and 35. Wow. Think about that. That's 25 and 35 is usually when you start your life. You're out of college. You're trying to figure out what to do. And then after 75 is usually on the back end of your life where you've done almost everything you can. It's like, what am I doing now? Those numbers astound me because it's so total polar opposites of people who can learn from each other, but usually are in the most deepest spaces and are usually the most hard-headed when seeking for help because you think you should be knowing what you're doing at 25 or 35. And at 75, you're so stuck in your ways, you feel like you should have figured it out by then. So you think the easiest way is just to check out. And a lot of times for us, the biggest things that lead to suicide or even being in a place of thinking of suicide is usually financial pressure, social isolation, addiction, societal pressure. So I end this podcast with asking men, are you okay? How are you doing? And if you're not doing okay, please reach out to somebody. Do not do this alone. There's a lot of suicide hotlines out there. I would recommend reaching out to one. It doesn't make you less weak of a man. Get on your knees. If you're in a place where you don't have anybody, ask that he may show you the way. He may give you peace in a world that isn't forgiving to a lot of people. This is The Return of Nothing with your host, Tobenna. Okay. And it's going to be a weekly podcast episode. We might have guests on. You're just gonna listen to me yap. We're gonna watch some videos or react to a lot of things, but we're just here to really provide just a support for people who are going through hard times and to give them hope for a bright future. Thank you.